With us, the bench is this evening graced by Bob Njagi and Nick Oyo, who are held in illegal captivity for 38 days in Uganda and as admitted by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Gentlemen, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Let's have the chronology of where it all began. Nick, and this is to you. Tell us about your journey to Uganda. How did you end up in Kampala?
We have business interests, we have family interests, we have those kinds of relationships and that kind of stuff. So we had a plan to go to Uganda to go and see some of these issues. And so when we got into Uganda, legally by the way, we had our passport stamped, 6 months visa. We got in very well and we started our business. But then we realized that our colleague, Bobi Wine, is having a launch of their manifesto. So we felt that that is something that we should give solidarity to. So we were there to give solidarity because that is what we usually do. Even if, say, for instance, I'm in court, you may not have resources to support me in anything, but as long as I can see you, it makes me feel that at least people are helping out. So that is what we wanted to do with this. And for us, it was not, we didn't expect anything of this nature. In fact, we were thinking that it is going to be a 4 or 5 days trip, and we are back. Yeah.
And to be specific then, Bob, what is the specific business interest which took you to Kampala before joining Bobi Wine, Kyagulanyi, on the campaigns?
Okay, first I have some Canadian friends of mine who are bound to come to Kenya next month in January. And they had asked me to see if I can take them to see the gorillas in Uganda. So I thought if I go there in advance, I would be able to look at the good places to take them if they do come in January. I don't think they're considering to travel to Uganda anymore now, after seeing what happened to us. I have a friend there also by the name Mike Mukula. He's a former Minister of Health. During COVID-19, I supplied I supplied the COVID masks to him. For goods worth over 1 million Kenya shillings. I was there to actually also see if I can meet up with Mike, and there are phone records to show that I had even called him in advance to seek an appointment with him. Also, but politically, we have interactions with the National Unity Party here in Kenya for many years since 2018. Remember the Free Bobi Wine protest in Nairobi? That was the Free Kenya movement that I was organizing. Because we were still fighting for human rights and advance of good governance. At the time, the government of dictator Museveni had put him behind bars for exercising his freedom of speech. And we joined him in solidarity to call for his release until months later, I think a month later, they released him. Thereafter, he has visited Kenya twice. On both occasions, we have hosted him. During the Human Rights Conference back in 2020, where with many Ugandan opposition leaders, including Mugisha Muntu, Kiza Besije, and we had a meeting at the Ufungamano Hall. So we have been having relationships with these people for a long time, and we are sharing ideologies across the region. For instance, in our movement, we rally behind the People Power movement, which our slogan is People Power, Higher Power. In Uganda, it's People Power, Our Power, because we both believe that all sovereign power is vested in the people, and we should have governments that are advancing policies that are pro-people. To that extent, we have, when we realized that they're having a manifesto launch, we thought it's an opportunity to show solidarity. And we actually traveled to Uganda, and when we got to Jinja Town, we spent the night there. The following morning, we prepared to go for the rally. We attended the rally, which was well attended, and left the rally in the evening. The following morning, we happened to be in a place called Matuga. Our vehicle had a problem, and we stopped at the Starbucks petrol station, which is actually owned by our president here. And it was at that petrol station when we got abducted by security officers who seemed at the time not to be just ordinary security people, because they were very heavily armed. It's then that we realized we are under the military. Yes.
Okay. And before I come to Nicholas on the abduction, so it took you a day to finish up on your businesses?
We got there, and by the second day we were abducted. But we had planned to stay there for at least a week. Our plan of intention was to stay at least for a week, see and tour Uganda, and then come back as East African citizens. We had gotten the necessary paperwork to be in Uganda, because we crossed at the Busia border, and we got our visas for 6 months, I think. So we had been there very much legally.
Okay. Nick, give us the details of the moment the heavily armed men, as Bob stated, when that moment actually happened, and then the chronology of what happened thereafter.
We were trying to organize our vehicle because we had some tie-up issues. In fact, it started as we went to Kampala. We had to take a bit of some time because we had to organize the tires. Now, when we got to Mutuga, we found a Starbucks, and that is where our vehicle completely could not move further. So we decided to park it there and spend the night a bit, and then in the morning we got up to now deal with the tires. In fact, there were comrades of ours who were bringing those tires. So what happened is, when these people came, they first came with an advance team, I think of 2 people. So they were talking to him. So when I saw them, I knew it was the people of the tire, and I was the one who had those contacts.
Yeah.
So I joined him, and the moment I joined him, we just had police, and suddenly there was what they call the drone appeared. And the people who dropped from that vehicle, it was a sight that I've never seen in front of me. People fully armed to the teeth, and I think about 8, 7, or 6 people, very armed. And so they came and surrounded us and pushed us into the vehicles. For me now, it was an issue of, I think this must be something like that, of that nature. So it was like, can I throw my phone out of the vehicle? Because for me, it was like, we need something that somebody can use to maybe call people and tell people. So what happened is, I tried to throw it out, but I realized that I couldn't. But that then excited them into, I think it made them feel like I'm hiding another phone. So they started to attack me in the vehicle. But after some time, they realized I was telling them the truth, I don't have another phone. So that is how we started moving, quietly, by the way, all the way. Nobody speaks. They speak among themselves, sometimes in signs, that kind of stuff. Sometimes a bit of Kiswahili, but a lot of Luganda. So we couldn't make up what they're really saying. But at that moment, we had another person we were 3 of us in that petrol station. So one of the other person entered the vehicle with us. They had grabbed the 3 of us. Then from I think it's a miracle of some sort, Bob said that we have not locked the car. So they said, who has the key? Who has the key? And it was him who had the key. So he just dropped like that, and I saw them look at those, I think they had a phone there. Yeah. They looked at it, and they looked at me like this straight. Then they looked again and looked at Bob straight like this, and that guy just said, let's go.
So
and that is how that person was left, Kofi. Yeah.
So was the third person part of you, or he was an innocent bystander?
He was part of us. We were with him in that trip, and that's how we managed to live with 2 people and leaving 1 person. I think that helped us too. Yeah, Kenyan.
Or Ugandan?
Kenyan. Yeah. We even had another Ugandan.
Would you mind sharing his name?
It's called Kofi Atandi. Kofi Atandi. That's his name, yeah. So Kofi was left, and I think that probably was something that...
Okay.
Yeah.
Bob, then did you not foresee danger when you attended the manifesto launch of Bobi Wine Kyagulanyi, given the rough times he had with the authorities in Uganda and what he went through with his family as well?
I did not think it would be such a bad thing, because I did not speak at the rally. neither was I wearing the clothes or regalia for the opposition. I was there to participate by just listening to what the people of Uganda want for their livelihoods. I have seen Martha Karua going to Uganda to fight for Dr. Kiza Besigye in court. That is activism. That is solidarity. How come she's not abducted? I have seen our President Ruto going to campaign for the President Museveni. Why isn't it questioned whether he's supporting a person from the other team? Why is it a problem that why are we a threat to them as such? It shows that the regime of President Museveni is very afraid of the awakening of young people in Uganda, because we represent a majority of the young people in Kenya in terms of the issues we stand for. If you look at the finance bill, my abduction was as a result of the finance bill in 2024, which we joined hands as Kenyans to say no to an oppressive bill, which up to today, the parliamentarians are still following the same suit.
Yeah.
And I think this is a threat even for Museveni, because he thinks that we might introduce the same kind of patriotism towards defending the constitution in Uganda as it is in Kenya. I think that was why they are really afraid of us being able to have this kind of influence on the people. But I believe that even as we speak, 80% of Ugandans are the youth, and time for change is coming. It's actually here.
Okay. So next we'll now talk about where you were taken. And you have also named General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. So we'll talk more about that and where you were held, the state of your affairs at the time, who you were held with, and how you were released, who you were in touch with, and the interventions made by the Kenyan High Commission in Uganda.